actually a new one, and it's going to be introduced in Nigeria, say next year. But Maggie actually spoke extensively about this new family planning method called Caya Diaphragm. Why don't we listen to this conversation I had with her?
Maggie Kilbourne-Brook, and I'm a senior program officer at PATH. PATH is a nonprofit international health organization. I'm based in Seattle, and I'm part of the design and development team that worked on developing a single-size contraceptive diaphragm that now is called the Caya Contoured Diaphragm. The exciting thing about Caya is that this is the product that was designed by women and for women, and with the help of healthcare providers, to ensure that it meets the unique needs of those different audiences. This is a diaphragm that has been designed to be easy to supply, easy to provide, and easy for new learners to learn how to use. It has some special features that make it easy and comfortable for women and men to use.
Did you just say men to use? Is it
is
it designed for men or for women?
No, it's designed to it's designed to be comfortable for both partners. Because when you're using a contraceptive product, it's one thing for the women to want to use it, but if it's not going to be acceptable for her partner, then it's not going to get used. So although women are our main audience, during the design and development process, we got feedback from male partners as well.
Oh, interesting. Now, why is this an important innovation considering there are other diaphragms in the market?
Well, that's a really interesting question because, in fact, what's happened over decades is there are fewer and fewer diaphragms available. Diaphragms used to be part of the family planning program 100 years ago, but there was very little innovation in the field. And then as hormonal contraception became more widely available, providers chose to support those kinds of methods because they felt they were more modern and more effective. But what we know now is that women need access to a range of contraceptive products in order to find the method that's really going to meet their needs, and that there's a significant portion of women who can't use hormonal methods or don't want to use hormonal methods, don't want to use an IUD, and maybe they can't use condoms. So for women in those kinds of circumstances, something like having a user-initiated, non-hormonal barrier method that's under the woman's control could open up a whole new range of options for protection for her.
Now, I want to ask you a very important question that has to do with the acceptance of women in Africa, generally thinking about accepting family planning methods. Do you think that this is more common with elite women than rural women in Africa, accepting that they can actually take some contraceptives, well, if they really want to have a break regarding having children? Do you think family planning method is widely accepted in Africa and in fact in Nigeria?
There's been a lot of research done over the last 40 years about women's attitudes and couples' attitudes toward family planning. And what researchers have found is that many women are interested in family planning and eager to accept different kinds of methods if they can find a method that meets their needs and works with their relationship. And this attitude that you talk about, is this something that is more acceptable in urban areas and less acceptable in rural areas?
Yeah.
I think we need to look closely at that, because when we've done work looking at the opportunity for introduction of the diaphragm, sometimes women or stakeholders in urban centers would say, oh, this is a product that only women in the urban centers can use, and women in the rural areas would not be able to use it. Mm-hmm. But when we go and we talk with women in rural areas, they laugh and they say, what do our sisters in the urban center think that we do in the rural areas? Of course we could use something like this. Yeah. So I think this is an opportunity to kind of challenge some of the suppositions that we might have about who can use a product like this and who can't use a product like this. I think it's important. This isn't a product for everyone. This is really designed to be a product for women whose needs are not being met by existing contraceptive methods. But we know that there are a significant number of women who cannot use hormonals or do not want to use them and don't want to use an IUD. So something like this, a non-hormonal user-initiated barrier method, could help meet those women's reproductive needs.
You launched in Europe in 2013 and are currently registered in 40 countries. What has the acceptance been like, especially for the African region?
Well, the answer is going to be two-part. The first is to let you know that during the design and development stage of this project, women in South Africa were part of the original design research team. So we have information from women and their partners and healthcare providers in South Africa of what they felt about the diaphragm as it was being developed. And their input helped create some of the design innovation into this product. What we found from those women is that they reported that the diaphragm was easy to handle, easy to learn how to use. They could easily insert and remove it. It allowed for good satisfaction and comfort during sex. And men also said that they had good satisfaction. When we looked at this in Uganda, we also found that there they have a very limited set of contraceptive methods that are available. And so women felt that by expanding the contraceptive method mix to include this kind of option, that the needs of women who cannot use hormonal methods would be better met. That said, most of the activities that have happened so far in the 35 or 40 countries where the product is available have been in developed and middle income countries at this point. So what we know from those markets are that women like the product. They find it easy to use. They would recommend it to a friend. They say their partner likes the Caya Diaphragm. And the primary reason that women choose the diaphragm is that they want a method that doesn't have side effects. They want a method that they can control when to use it. We also found out that a broad range of women are using the diaphragm. Most of the women are in the age range of 25 to 35. But as more information has become available, as the diaphragm has been on the market for the last 6 years, then an increasing portion of young women, 18 to 25-year-olds, are also choosing to buy Caya.
All right. Now let's think about diaphragm as a method of contraception. It doesn't seem to be popular anymore in Nigeria. How do you envisage penetrating into the market here in Nigeria?
This is a really interesting observation, since diaphragm will actually be a new method in Nigeria, and there's very little information known about this method, then DKT will use its marketing and communication campaigns to raise awareness to a large audience. And DKT will explain the advantages and the benefits of the product through these campaigns, and hoping to reach target audiences who are interested in a user-initiated method. According to the tests that DKT has already done, the product is appealing and its features are well appreciated. So Caya has some distinct advantages which we do not see in other contraceptive methods, and the design and the packaging and the images will be revamped to appeal to this kind of larger audience. We're not asking women who are happy and satisfied with their contraceptive method to switch to Caya, but we really are interested in finding those women who are not satisfied with their contraceptive method and see if something like Caya could help meet their needs.
Okay. Now, diaphragm usually requires medical prescription. Would that be the case with this product? Noting that your goal is to convert the 7 million Nigerian women not using contraceptions to customers. Do you think...
Go ahead.
Do you think it will not actually require them see, a medical expert before using this product?
This is one of the exciting innovations about this new diaphragm. This is a single-size diaphragm that fits most women. So a fitting by a family planning provider is no longer required.
Okay.
And in fact, in most countries where the Caya is sold, it's available over the counter without a prescription. Women learn to use the Caya from the print instructions, from an online video, or by talking to a family planning counselor or a trusted friend. And about half of the women who purchase Caya learn to use it on their own and never visit a family planning provider. So we will learn in the next year how it is that women in Nigeria want to learn about the Caya and where they want to get information and support if they have questions. But the Caya will be available in pharmacies, just like male condoms, and in select clinics.
Interesting. Are there any side effects to bother about? Are there any side effects?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, really. The diaphragms are considered to be a very